The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the Manga Bahola Code and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Rekindle PH. Any content provided by our team or participants are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual or anyone or anything. On with the show.
Hey guys, so Jerick here for Rekindle PH, and day 4 of the enhanced community quarantine. I hope you guys are doing well. Crazy times, but we're not gonna talk about that. Definitely not on national level, right? Right, but yeah, crazy as it sounds, I hope everyone is well, doing well with regards to getting their supplies, making sure your supplies are well stacked, and your relationship with your Facebook friends are still good. I don't know, whatever. Right, so we do have Tito Brian in the chat already, and for some weird reason, wait, chat, please for thing. Wait lang, bro. Let me fix something really quick. Shrimp kit. Let me just okay, there you go, it's working now. Right, awesome. Right guys, and again, if you guys have a request or any discussion points that you guys want to discuss personally, let us know in the chat, or anything that you want to suggest to be discussed, let us know in the chat box. As long as it's not heavy politics and heavy religion, we're okay with that. Right, let me see. The boys are. It's a little bit late. We already started around 10, and only because my body clock is, I don't know, for some reason it's really weird. Right, and we'll be talking about Tito Pau's drones is strong enough to lift a a sack of rice. I don't know, or our private chats for the team are all well.
Yeah. Hello.
All right, there you go. There's Tito Brian. Our private chat is bombarded with butts for some weird reason. I don't know. We were trying to discuss who has the, how do you say that, Brian? What's the right term? The not provoking term. Who has the what? I lost you, sorry.
Nicest back.
The nicest butt in the Philippine industry.
No, nicest back. Back like, not front. It's back.
Nicest back. Okay, fine. Nicest back. Right. Again, for those who want to join in, let us know. I think the boys are joining in a bit. Yeah.
If you like sack of rice, does it make you suck rice juice? Core.
Yeah, rice religious. Yeah, that sounds fair. That sounds fair. Rice religious. And again, also, we might actually do group interviews moving forward. We already talked to Third World Entertainment, and they're fixing their schedules. And also, if you guys want to be interviewed online, you want to promote your group as well, as long as it's not politically or religiously affiliated, or what's that, religious or political endorsement, there, we're good with that. Other than that, nah. Right. So yeah, Bri, have you heard about the ultra risk areas in Bacolod?
Yeah, yeah. I saw the article in Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. So this is
You know,
from
Facebook is the most reliable source of information, right?
says the people who don't have data. I don't know. Right, but yeah, some of our areas in Bacolod, everyone are in ultra risk, or areas, neighborhoods, and residences that have
Yeah.
residents who fit the following criteria. I mean, have tested posted for COVID-19 and have not recovered, whether they are in quarantine centers at home or in hospitals. Residents who may have passed away with COVID-19 symptoms, but from SANS confirmatory results. Yeah. So I'm not really quite sure, Bri. Do you know what what are the consequences? Not really. What are the consequences? The conditions of, like, if you're included in an ultra risk area, what does it entail?
Uh, I'm not sure. I haven't read through like the guidelines
Mm-hmm.
on ultra risk areas yet. But as far as I know, you guys are still under ECQ. It's
Right.
still not actually, what's weird is that the next level after ECQ is still ECQ.
Mm-hmm.
Only that the E is different. It's extreme community quarantine.
Yeah.
So if you're an ultra risk, I think you're still under ECQ. It's just that more uh, police will be there. I guess. Right.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
probably
more people would be
yeah.
like doing sanitation or and stuff.
Right.
Would be like doing checks that to make sure that no one goes out. Because like normal ECQ,
Mm-hmm.
let's be honest. Normal ECQ is just like normal day because like people can still go out,
Sure.
even though I'm supposed to be under the ECQ that we have now. We
Mm.
can only go out to do necessary errands. By necessary, that means you either like
Right.
buy medicine, you need groceries and stuff.
True.
But you like in some places in Bacolod, you still see people buying cigarette,
I know. I know. I
going
know.
out just to buy cigarette. Okay.
I know, and for some weird reason, I've seen pictures on Facebook. Well, again, the most reliable source of information. That yeah, well, people are not following the social distancing in markets, like, especially public markets. I think there were
Right, right.
photos in of the Morsha market. I'm not quite sure. I haven't left the house since ECQ.
There's
Um,
actually supposed to be a guideline where I mean it's an executive order, like and I'm not sure about the technical terms because I'm not a lawyer, but from what I
mm,
understand, it's supposed to be like similar to a city ordinance, where
mm,
if you violate it, the police can
yeah,
apprehend you or something.
right.
But supposed to be we're supposed to wear
Mm-hmm.
mask when we go out, especially when we go to public places.
Right.
But again,
I know.
you go out,
I just
see a lot of
remembered. I
people
just remember
not following the rules.
the woman that got arrested, that she was just trying to buy vegetable and she was not wearing a mask, and then the policeman called her attention, and
Yeah.
she told
What's Yutamo in English?
well
Fuck you? I don't know.
yeah, it is. I think it's the equivalent of fuck you, yeah.
So it's like it comes from the word iot,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's what do you call that? Amalgamation of yeah. Fuck. As far as I know, because uh what's that? I forgot. There's also a local equivalent for son of a bitch. Totally forgot though.
Son of the bitch is Hijo de puta, right?
Right there. But then again, it's not really Ilonggo. It's Spanish. But yeah, it is. Right. But the thing is, I think no, yeah, I think it's different. Yutamo and Yudiputa, I think is I don't know who else is in the stream. No, we don't have. Let me get the boys. Boys join in and girls. Right, so because it was under the impression that if you were in an ultra risk area, you'd be like a complete lockdown that you can't go out, or you can't. Well, some people can't go in. Of course, people can't go in, even with the ECQ, not unless they're verified to actually go in. Because according to the manner of ultra risk seal off, all residents in this in a 50-meter radius shall be covered by the lockdown. So, like for example, if you have like a neighbor that tested positive or is a casualty of COVID-19, that automatically suggests the 50-meter radius and you're part of it. But as far as as the article goes, it looks like if a particular, for example, village or subdivision actually has a case, they'd lock down the whole village or subdivision. Which what happens next is more of my question.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think one of the problems. It's like there's no clear guideline yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's their first time to handle this scenario.
Mm.
So I don't.
Let's see. PNP
We'll see
assistance.
what happens. But
Section 5 PNP assistance. Barangay officials and PNP personnel shall immediately go on house-to-house visits in the lockdown area to inform the residents therein of their lockdown status, the duration of their lockdown, and the beginning date thereof. Barangay officials and PNP personnel shall then immediately set up checkpoints to prevent anyone from leaving the lockdown area or entering it. There you go.
oh,
So
can you share the article?
yeah, it's
I can read.
It's in the dnx.news, but let me put it in the um chat.
But they're like referring to a barangay, right? Not necessarily just a specific place. First, like a smaller area.
Yeah, as far as I know, some of the areas that were called out is not specific areas, but yeah, barangays, villages, subdivisions.
So it's a barangay-wide lockdown rather than a village.
It's more of a village, I think. More of a village, but I'm not really quite sure because for example, the whole barangay Takuling were called out as well, because you have a couple of villages here that the post also risk. But I'm not really quite sure if they're gonna like lock down. This is my concern. If if right, for example, the last statement that barangay officials and PNP personnel shall then immediately set up checkpoints to prevent anyone from leaving the lockdown area or entering it. What happens to the people who, like, for example, want to do their grocery, and even with the quarantine pass, they can't do that anymore. So who's gonna feed them? Bing, of course.
That's a good question.
Supposed to
There's
be.
like I have like another group chat with like a different circle.
Mhm.
Somewhere in Manila. No, Luzon. It's like Luzon, I think. But let's
Mhm.
just not name drop. But anyway,
Mhm.
he said my friend sent me pictures, and there I think the situation was there was a confirmed case in their barangay.
Mhm.
And then what happened was the barangay was also locked down.
Mhm.
So no one goes in and goes out. And what's happening there, according to him, is that food is just like distributed to
Yeah.
each household. And you know what? Like the food that they're giving out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like 2 cans of sardines and one calabasa.
Exactly.
One port calabasa. Like,
Right.
what the heck? And it's a household of like one the like a mother and 2 kids.
And right, like for example, since there are still services that actually delivers groceries. Like, what if we avail of that? And like for example, if we're in the ultra high risk area, and what if a family avails of that? Since the delivery can't go in, what happens? Like, they leave it at the checkpoints, and the family can just get it, or they should. I think the article, executive order number 28, actually, an order authorizing barangays to identify and seal off ultra risk areas under the enhanced community quarantine. Um, article. I think they haven't really given people. It doesn't really, what do you call that, state like how people would actually, how do you say that, would actually move inside the quarantine area or not. I mean, of course, you can't go out of the house, but like delivery, like food delivery or grocery delivery, or how do they do their grocery if the city itself, like fails to, like what you said, like 2 cans of sardines and 1/4 what's calabasa, squash, um is
Uh,
and that's for a day, or
for a week.
Jesus Christ. Right, like that, for example.
Yeah.
What if you're a family of five? Like, okay, let's say they give you like, even if they give you like 5 cans of sardines, that's not even gonna, it's not gonna cut it. Right.
Yeah, like the well, not to like some like how or like I mean like what some LGUs are giving out,
Mhm.
like 3 cans of sardines and 1 kilo of rice or 2 kilos. That's like going to be short if you're like a family of five.
Yeah,
It's not
even
enough.
even if like 2 sardines and calabasa for me, like for example, for me and Angel, that's not gonna fit because for one, we don't eat calabasa. But this is,
Just
yeah.
imagine. I remember like when I was still in when I was still in college, like for I mean the HRM folks,
Mm.
like for their competition, one of I don't really understand what they're doing, but I think like on one particular event,
Mhm.
like a school competition, they had to use calabasa as just the primary
Mhm.
ingredient for everything, like the main course, the dessert,
Uh-huh.
the soup. It was really interesting. It's like you can use calabasa everywhere.
But 1/4 of it in a week?
Maybe you just add salt.
Jesus Christ. I
Yeah,
know
it's
this.
really sad.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
know what's
So that's
happening.
that's one of our that's one of our, like, what do you call that? That's what me and Asia are afraid of. Like, I mean, because regardless if you have the means to actually feed yourself, once you go into like a complete lockdown, that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Whatever you have in your bank, or whatever you have, or how many families you have that might support you if it's a complete lockdown, they should be clear about that, like, especially with deliveries. Like, what if I because we can call like delivery services and have our groceries taken care by these guys, and you know, like, if we're in ultra risk, can we just get that from the checkpoints? And how sure are we that it's not gonna be? I don't know.
But I think you should like for everyone. Well, it's not applicable now, but I guess if the quarantine gets extended, I think we should start really stacking up
Yeah.
because it's like um, well, not comparing with Italy, but there's a possibility that a similar approach will be used here, where it will be a full lockdown,
Yeah.
and that includes the deliveries. They won't be
Exactly.
able to like go in and out of
Right.
your place area. I
Right.
mean area.
Exactly. Ah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and scary,
It's,
very
it's it's
scary.
scary. It's scary, and people telling you that, yeah, well, there are, people saying that all you have to do is just wait for the government, or wait for them to like do this, do that. But there's no solid plan. Even the article doesn't have like a solid plan of how to address that. I mean, the government will tell you that, yeah, yeah, sure, we'll help you, but at the end of the day, if you yeah, I don't know, so confused with this quarantine. I don't
Me
know.
too. I don't know, but well, let's see.
Yeah.
The actually a friend of mine, like me and a friend of mine, was talking yesterday late at night
Mm-hmm.
after our president's speech, and he raised actually a very good point. Um, I think um, if I think like the government should focus on controlling the people first,
Yeah.
because if like they try to do both, like I mean because there's an issue with the supply shortage,
Mm-hmm.
or not
Yeah.
everyone getting
Mm-hmm.
what do you call that, relief goods,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's an issue of people not following rules.
Right. Right.
So it's going to be really hard to um, pull off both,
Mm-hmm.
especially when our government doesn't have enough manpower. So what he told me was, you need to like get one accomplished first, like the control,
Mm-hmm.
so at least the outbreak doesn't spread.
Sure.
And
Sure.
then once the control is accomplished, then we can, I mean, the government can figure out what to do with like how to distribute the goods. It's the
Yeah.
control part right now that's the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't really, considering, yeah, I think that's a good point. But considering that, I think one of the reason that you can, or one of the ways they can actually, you know well, sa mga tiga-ulo gud, tiga-aganas la ulo. But one of the ways of actually having people stay at home is to make sure that they're fed or they have food on their table. What happened
Yeah.
is what happened at, for example, there are, there were people already writing the requests on their sidewalks that,
Oh,
telling their local, yeah, there were like gutom na kami kap or something like that. I'll try to look for the photos, but I saw it earlier that they're writing their sentiments on like the local streets already, because again, you can't really ask people to stay in and without anything on their table, right? And
yeah.
considering that, like the areas with ultra risk can't go in and go out, people will violate protocols to survive, I think. Yeah, but then again, it should it
Mm,
should
right.
it should always be a step at a time, I think. I think that's a good point, that it should be addressed a step at a time. And actually, I'm actually, because there were news of like the, like the NPAs blocking supplies, even to a point that I think there were news way back that, not in Bacolod, but they burnt truckloads of supplies just because that particular courier service did not pay revolutionary tax, and that's really sad. And I think that's what the president is trying to address as well on, like his speech about the leftists, but it doesn't go well with, considering that, I'm not sure. I'm sure you're pro you're pro him, but
Yeah.
let's agree that Oplan Tokhang actually created vigilantes to that did not really did well. Zeroing in on who is and who's not.
Yeah, they're like I think um two extreme sides.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
where Duterte wants the far left to be shot, and then
I
the far
know.
left wants to rally on the streets.
Yeah, I know. I
It's
know.
like it does. What makes me sad is that although it's like I understand and I totally respect the right of everyone to rally or speak out
Mhm.
against the government.
Mhm.
But I mean the leaders, the those who what's the term? Those who uh, organize the rallies. I think
Mhm.
they should think about the safety of their participants first. I mean, you can like ask people to rally, but just remind them to do social distancing. You can
True.
shout as loud as you want, but just make sure that the the health guidelines are still there, especially that there's an issue with the pandemic, which is what the Kadamay folks didn't do. And what's sad is that they also use children. If you looked at the video,
I haven't seen it, but yeah, I'll try to check.
it's well, it doesn't necessarily have the banner of Kadamay. It's just that it's very coincidental with their post the previous day.
Okay. Yeah, and with that, some people, some groups might actually use it as a venue to push for destabilization as well. I mean, and some of our friends actually know that you're pro. I'm a more of like the anti guy, and um, it's what do you call that? I can see some, like they can use that as a venue to exploit the people to actually like for example, like if ever like the Damai really did fund the rally, it's if it's more of a way to actually like push the government to do drastic measures again, because of the threat that it's posing, and some people might actually exploit that weakness as well. I'll be honest, to all our listeners. So we're gonna go a little bit political, but to be honest, just like what Tito Wem said in his post earlier, I'm not really into the oust the president thing, because well, not specifically not now, because handovers needs to happen, and the Philippines with handovers. Um, it's gonna take days, maybe months, and
Yeah, yeah.
if we're gonna like impose it now, um, it's gonna pose more problem than I think what I'm actually looking at is that he needs to like give the people solid plans, and assure everyone that whatever needs to be addressed will be addressed. I don't know what's your side of the fence with that whole oust the
I
president thing.
agree with the house Duterte for me is really stupid. I mean
Okay.
it's like, well, not not well, just to clarify, I mean I agree with that point. I mean, not now, because like if you're calling for House Duterte now, that's really a stupid move, because there's a lot of technicalities behind it.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, that's probably where we, like, most of us agree on, um like the pre-thinkers.
Mhm.
Anyway, I mean,
Mhm.
in the sense that if especially that the vice president is from a different party, like
Right, right,
the opposite party,
right.
to be
Exactly.
exact. They're like red and blue,
Right,
black and
right,
white.
right.
So if you're gonna like put the opposition to
Mm-hmm.
the seat, that means she would most likely need to replace
Right.
the cabinet members, and there's like a lot.
And that's gonna take
So
time. And that's gonna take time
yeah,
as well. Yeah.
because she can't use the current cabinet because the current cabinet's loyalty is with Duterte.
Right. Can just decide to not support, and
Yeah, and
it's
mess her
more.
up.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be like, we're all fucked.
Right.
Like,
Set her to fail.
so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe after all this, maybe
Yeah.
that's the right time to call for
Ousting the guy.
resignations
Yeah.
or
Or
yeah, yeah,
not.
yeah. But at the moment, that's really a really 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 bad idea.
Yeah, I would agree as well. And Tito Wem post earlier, completely, oh, okay, I'm not the only one who thinks that way. Or cause people has this notion that when you're like a critic of the president, it's like oust right away. I think there are some of us that would really look into technical. I'm not saying that I'm that technical or analytical about it, but at this point, we really need someone who has the manpower up there to make the move. And I mean, no, no offense to like the vice president, but she's doing her part as well. Some are saying that diin si Lubredo or Robredo or whoever, whatever. Diin siya subong, yeah, blah blah blah, lugaw lugaw. Uh, and
Yeah.
and then we find out that she's actually doing like free free bus services and all that. The only the,
Yeah.
we were only able to we were only able to find out just because she's being summoned as well to air out her points for doing that, because it doesn't stand with the whole Bayanihan Heal as One movement, just like Vico's movement as well.
Oh, that's I think that has been clarified already.
Mm-hmm.
The her being called to the NBI, I think, was just an opinion of a commissioner
Mm-hmm.
on like
Mm-hmm.
during an interview. So there's already like a news article. I think it was just published late, around like after 6 p.m. I'm not sure, I forgot, but it
Mm-hmm.
was published late. But according to, I forgot the name of the agency. According to the name of the agency concerned,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like a personal opinion of a commissioner,
Ah, okay.
not really something that they're doing
Mm-hmm.
at the moment. Because I think um, the mandate of the investigation regarding Bayanihan was, I think, the instruction according to NBI, because of course there's always cover up, but according to the NBI, the mandate was to investigate local officials.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they didn't look into Coco. But of course, it's politics. They could like
True.
uh, uh, but it's a silly excuse because
I know.
the law is supposed to apply to everyone.
Right. And
It's
considering that he's just beside you, why not do him first? Do him first. That did not sound good.
yeah.
But
I really wonder why, like, they should probably, sometimes the government agencies, regardless if it's like the administration or the opposition, they really really have a bit bad PR
I know.
tactics.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to get to Vico, they probably should have just saved him for like the seventh
Yeah.
person to be called.
Right.
Not call Vico first, because that insinuates a lot of things.
True.
It's really like so stupid. They called Coco first. They
Yeah.
made like official statement that um files cases will be filed even though
Uh.
nothing will be done. Like those things.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like really bad
Vico.
idea.
Yeah, Vico Soto is the least of their problems right now. To be honest.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I don't
because
know.
I don't know, because I think there were cities that are trying to like wireframe some of their quarantine. What do you call that? How they handle their quarantine on how Vico is doing with Pasig. Is it? Is it Pasig?
Yes, passing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, Vico is the least of their problems right now. You have Coco. You have they haven't even
The
looked.
Quezon City
They haven't.
mayor.
Yeah, they haven't even looked into Jinggoy's Jinggoy's tests that happened twice,
Oh,
and it's home service according to Facebook. But then again, Facebook is the most reliable source of
source of
information.
information. Yeah.
But, yeah, yeah, there were news that the Jinggoy and the family had been tested like twice. But then again, I can't really confirm that. But I've seen it in some of the articles, not just Facebook. So I'm clarifying. But anyways, oh yeah, a big shout out to Arvin of Seize the Silence and Third World Entertainment for sharing the stream. Thank you so much. And who else? Shout out to Gian, who's probably I don't know, probably watching, listening. I'm not really sure who's watching or listening right now. Um. Okay. Yeah. But
I
anyways,
think just a thought.
yeah.
For the opposition,
Mhm.
they also probably need to hire like a PR tactician or
True.
something. Like because what's weird about their approach is that most of them always go to like counter whatever the
Mm,
administration
right.
is doing. Like for example, Chel Jokno. Chel Jokno is I know I admire him for what he does for human rights,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes, well, sorry to say, but sometimes he does stupid comments like he doesn't want a lockdown, you can go out, it's a violation of your constitutional
Right.
rights.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd
It's
agree with
like
that.
that doesn't really sound good, especially during these times.
Right. True.
Maybe they
True.
could like just practice if you're in the BPO industry, positive scripting. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, wow, the quarantine, is a great idea. However, just unsolicited suggestion, it might be contradicting with the constitution,
Right.
but it's like
Right.
really good idea.
Yeah, I think they should really point out, like the health hazard of violating the quarantine. Probably, I think that's one of the things that they
Yeah.
really want to point out first, rather than it's human rights. Because there was this ads earlier posted a comment about, I mean, posted another post about this guy calling out that is violating our human rights. We need let people go out there, dude. Seriously.
Yeah. I don't know.
May tanim ba lang kung like mabalang virus? Ay ala, human rights advocate hindi nasa dapat paglatnan. Diba? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Messed
yeah.
up. Mig.
It's yeah,
Well,
I know. For some reason, as much as people are crying out that this particular quarantine or pandemic should not be colored with politics, it is being colored with politics. And the people and some people, some groups will actually exploit some people's weakness, which is as of the moment hunger to push for their, and it's fucked up ideals of actually doing that. Because I'm not counting out. Some people are calling me like Dilawan and all that. I'm not counting out that the Dilawan will actually use the hungry people for the cause that they want to push, especially if it's against the current administration. and everybody should just be ready for that. I guess I'm more concerned of the ultra risk though. And yes, let me voice it out. Online, our area is actually part of the ultra risk, or part of one of the ultra risk areas in the city, and that's my concern is that what if we have the means. We were afraid of, like, what if we run out of projects, what if we run out of work, what if what we saved, well, not like we have a lot, gets depleted. What's next, right? So now, considering that even if we have ultra risk will actually close the entrances and exits of our area, what happens next? Like, I got even scared when you said like two cans of sardines in one-fourth of squash. I don't eat squash,
Yeah, it
but
happens.
Jesus, right? Even if even if the one that they're giving out right now, like the that rice, which is not, I'm not even it's not even good for me because I have asthma and all that. And according to them, the NFA rice is not really good for people who have, or who are what they call that? Immuno something.
Immunobacillus straight.
So yeah, so sure. Some of us are really, and we managed the subdivisions Facebook page, and people are asking, and we don't have answers because even the article doesn't state otherwise.
Yeah,
So there. So I think
it's
we,
really hard.
yeah,
I wish there was like a system in place
yeah,
where information is distributed faster.
yeah.
Because like we're super. I'm not sure because I'm not really like well connected with government people, but as far as I know, like messages are just being sent through Messenger, blah blah blah.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe you should use like
Use
other
Facebook.
means.
Like,
Oh
like,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it could be like a
Right.
Bacolod COVID-19 official page where all the information are funneled there. But according to the
Ah, right,
article,
right.
those under lockdown will be given contact numbers of the Barangay Health Emergency Response Team, who will help facilitate the purchase of supplies until the. Oh, okay, there you go. Who will help facilitate the purchase of supplies until the 14-day quarantine is up. The situation will then be fully assessed before the lockdown lifted. But like, what if you have like a subdivision full of people, requesting for grocery? How the hell are they gonna? Well, they probably have trucks. I know. It's
How are
crazy.
they gonna like handle the money part? So someone's gonna go out and collect.
Maybe. And
Okay, that's interesting.
and how are they gonna make sure that they actually, people, Philippines and money doesn't really sit well with each other. I know. Throwing shades out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, but
No,
that's
no, no, no.
crazy.
I hope it goes well.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm
But
hoping to. I'm hoping to.
yeah,
And
I
even
think you really should do your groceries while you still can go out.
I know, I know. And I was talking to the guys in Escalante, and they were telling me that you should post something like we told you so, we told you so about the whole quarantine thing. And they gave me a wager that if everything goes well with what the president's plan is, then I buy them a bucket of beer, and I will post on my Facebook page that they told me so. If it goes otherwise, they buy me a bucket of beer, and I get to post on my wall. I told everyone so. Cause yeah, I know. We're trying to come up with things that we want to get our minds off of things. I guess. I know. I think everyone should do that as well. Movies, games, I know. Then again, yesterday was a crazy day for everyone.
It's really hard on the that particular note where um you take your mind out of COVID. It's really hard in the sense
Yeah.
that if you're not updated, you'll be surprised one day that everything has already like is already burning.
Yeah, I know. I know.
like right now, um, there's well, I do not claim this as like news or
Mhm.
what. I'm not trying to scare everyone.
Mhm.
Please don't report me to the police. But there's like one of my well actually not just one of my friends, couple of my friends in
Mhm.
our other PMs are already saying that there's a possible rice
Uh-huh.
shortage coming.
Right, right.
So that's the scary part. If you're like not updated,
True.
there's a tendency that you will be eating kamote. And
Yeah.
well, I'm not laughing about being hunger and all that, but it's just like you can't really do it and like anything anymore except just to laugh it off. I don't know.
I know. Because they closed the trade to Vietnam, I think, for the rice. Because we're exporting rice from Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think
And
there was I saw there like an article where the our um agriculture department
Mhm.
said that they can supply for the rice demand. They would
Mhm.
be using a like a different technique for planting rice that will produce rice faster. Only
Okay.
that it yields one third of the normal
Ah.
harvest. So we'll
So,
see.
so it's the same thing. It's the same thing because they have to like plant the whole thing like thrice to come up with a whole yeah. But then again, that's better than nothing, I guess.
Right, right. So that's the hard part. There's like a lot of things to think about.
It's my concern is actually drinking water. I think water would also be one of
Ah,
the
yeah.
concern as well. Well, but then again, we have like water stations that filters and distribute water. But I know. Yeah, the rice would probably be a big concern considering the Filipinos is used to actually eating rice, and even if you
Is staple food.
yeah, it's staple food. And what if you don't have rice? What would be your alternative? Like pasta? What if it runs out as well? Mais. Yeah, mais could be one. Yeah, corn could be one. Kamote. Yeah.
Yeah, kamote. Two questions, do you eat those? Can
Uh.
you live like with kamote?
eh,
Personally, I don't like like eating kamote for dinner or lunch. Maybe for just for snack.
yeah, but like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
remember it's a vague memory, but I think before when like like me and my grandmother were experiencing hardship in a in barangay here in Bacolod because
Mhm.
it was like a newly established barangay. It's not really well developed yet during
Mhm.
that time. We just ate kamote kahoy for
Mhm.
um lunch and dinner. You
Wow.
put kamote kahoy, you dip it in sugar.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really hard, but I don't know if we'll get used to it. But it's really going to be hard, especially
Eventually.
for the children.
Yeah.
They're gonna have just it's the worst case scenario, but it probably won't happen. But if that would be the case, could we having like a lot of malnourished children?
True. True.
They'd be like dumb as fuck, but I don't know.
He's gonna ask for a chicken joy, and you put like a big lump of kamuti kahoy there with
Yeah, you
sugar.
just shape it as a chicken, but it's a kamote.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Ah, saging, I guess. Bananas
Ah, yeah, 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 saging.
could be an alternative.
And that works.
I don't know, your neighbor, I know. Um, I don't know, but
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna go low as that. I mean, like really like post April kind of thing. But that could be a possibility. I don't know. If it's not handled, yeah, it might actually turn out that way.
yeah. It was like I haven't really. Did you finish the? You were the one who shared the prepper video, right?
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah. It's actually it was suggested to me by like a friend as well.
The
So
the pandemic?
maybe that's something to. I don't know. He said. She said just watch videos about preppers.
Yeah. Because as far as I know, we actually have a prepper friend. If you know Jennifer Gutierrez, way back, happy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's a self-admitted prepper. Because you've seen her stash, or you've seen her
I
pictures,
haven't
like
seen her like. I've
knives
seen
and
her
guns.
lifestyle.
Yeah, knives and guns. But yeah, she's a self-proclaimed prepper. Which I don't know. I think being a prepper is not really a bad thing. It's just that some actually goes like really extreme that they isolate themselves as early as now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Like some people are already living in bunkers, and some of their kids are not allowed to go out unless they have protective gears. And imagine your childhood being um you being brought up in fear of something, possible future, but how can you enjoy your childhood that way? But then again, better safe than sorry, maybe. I know.
Yeah. If only like VR tech developed much faster. So you can
Yeah.
just like stay at home and then still be able to roam around.
uh, well, yeah, but then again, you still need the funding, or you need money to just buy a system to run it. And
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I know.
That's one of the challenges. That's actually true. That's actually one of the challenges for our education system as well. Like, since we don't have, I mean, like in the public schools, not
Mm,
everyone there can afford the internet.
right.
So basically, we have to stop teaching the children because we don't have the infrastructure for it.
Right.
So we can't teach them. But that's another. Um, it's not scary, but it's like concerning
Yeah.
part of this pandemic.
Right.
Because like if it goes to like if it like what's I'm looking for the term. If the lockdown extends,
Mm-hmm.
like for example 6 months,
Yeah.
that's 6 months worth of education
True.
for the children that you're
True.
delaying.
True. Well, some people are saying that just stay home, just stay home. But then again, they tend to forget that we have people who can actually eat if they work. Like you have your drivers, you have like mga gabaligya sa dalan, like mga tigulang gabaligya lang for that day para makakaon and all that. Well, I don't know. And I mean, us in particular, that we have the means, like for example, we have the means to stream, we have the means to still work at home, but others don't have that luxury. And when the quarantine extends, that means it's gonna be not just the education itself, but some people will just rely on the national or the LGU to actually feed them. And maybe us as well because of the ultra risk thing. I don't know, but I think they'll put something in place. Hopefully, especially for those people who can actually buy their groceries and all that. And at this point, my only concern is that, like for example, you go to the checkpoint station, and you put your you pay for your groceries, and you get your groceries, and people and chismes and all that. Like, they have
Yeah.
this, they have that, they probably have this and that, and then some people may take advantage and check on your groceries, like, oh, so they actually do groceries, this and that, let's probably loot the guys, or
Yeah, that's
I'm,
what
I'm
scares
being
me too.
paranoid. I'm being paranoid. Like, people actually start tracking you of how much you spend if like the if groceries and supplies are being funneled through check-in station, and they start, you know because even without the pandemic and all that, there's a lot of robbing, people robbing and thieving in our area.
Yeah.
So I mean,
There's like people robbing and people robbing at the same time. But the robbing part is like the nice part.
because,
Anyway. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it's same here as well, like what we've talked about before,
mm,
where um sometimes it's a bit I mean, I get conscious when I do groceries. Like, for
yeah.
example, earlier today, I bought supplies for
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like kinda a lot because you know me, I'm already expecting an extension of the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I already bought her supplies that will last her for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when I went back to the apartment, all eyes are like on me. It's like,
Right.
oh, I was like, I think I'm gonna be dead. It's like,
I
and
know.
then there are questions like because our apartment has like a big space in front,
Mm-hmm.
and then the gate is just open, so anyone who's like outside can
Mm-hmm.
see like it's not really like a lawn area, it's just like more of an empty, just a vacant space.
Mm-hmm.
um so they see like Bruce running around, and Bruce is a chow.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when some people get close, they would say, nami isang ido no, mahal na ay. It's like,
Right.
I was like, tumalo ka, 5K na, wala. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Those
like,
little
oh,
things is scary.
yeah, why does it have to always be about the price? It's like,
Right.
yeah, it's like not good question to ask for prices, unless you're intending to buy stuff.
Right. I don't even disclose prices as well. In my streaming page, the other streaming
Yeah,
page is that people are asking, like, how much did you buy this and that? Did you buy this and that? I always say it's just affordable because I was
yeah,
able
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
afford it,
Me too,
because
me too.
and Angel, there were times as well when Angel were in my in the kids school, and every time may alamutan, they always point out that Angel is a home base, or
The Mukorta.
as what yeah, I know, as they call, or the most, home base or not, they when people tag you as like call center na siya, and kada may alamutan do ka, si ano bala kay amo na. There were even an
Ikaw din
instance,
tudlo.
yeah, there were even an instance that Angel told me that they were trying to go back to the apartments, and she rode tricycle, and there's a couple of other mothers who called the tricycle, like moped na lang kami and all that. So then when they, I mean, there's space, right? So you let them. And then when they got off the tricycle, not even a thank you, and they did not pay. So
Ah.
just
Ilag.
because just
Uh,
because call center, home base. Ugh, Jesus, if only you guys know how
it
much we.
happens. But you're like in a subdivision, right?
Yeah.
It happens inside the subdivision.
Yeah.
Really?
We're not. You know, Resort Heights is not really top of the line subdivision. So you know.
No, it's like if you're in a subdivision, I think you're either the probably the lowest category would be lower. I mean upper lower class. Like
I
I
don't
mean
know.
you're poor but you have work,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. We're poor, but we
Yeah,
have work.
yeah, that's like probably the I don't know, but I'm not sure. But I think that's the poorest social class there is in a subdivision.
Right.
You know, the lower, upper lower class. Because I have like this category. I'm not sure if everyone is like familiar with the social classes. They talk about it in the like marketing. You know, they have like A, B,
Mm.
C markets. You know,
Mm-hmm.
D, E.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
caste system?
So
No, I'm kidding.
yeah. It's like yeah, kind of like caste system, but just replaced with letters.
a, mo- a more modern
It's like
caste system.
yeah, yeah. But it's interesting that it happens to you there. Well, I'm not sure if that
You
happens
know,
here in
because
our apartment too. But
there
the like we're surrounded by the slums.
the slums. But you know
I mean,
that.
not because you know I grew up in Banago,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm really used to um, the the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. I doubt. I mean, sorry. I might get misunderstood here. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I know. I'm not. What do you call this? Discriminating
Yeah.
the because I'm not sure what to call. What's the right term? What's the right term?
For
The poor, unprivileged.
unprivileged. Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe
I don't know, but
underprivileged.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sorry because we might get misunderstood that they're like since we're talking in English, somebody out there might think that the con you guys are making libak of the poor. Oh. It's like
No, we're not.
what?
No, we're not. Yeah, but yeah, I know. And also people have this notion that since you're home base, you don't have to like pay for fare every day. You don't get to eat outside during your office hours and all that. But they tend to forget that we pay internet, we pay for our own equipment and maintenance, and you know, don't we? As much as I want to say that we have extra for a lot of things, we don't. Maintenance alone and equipment alone, you know, will drag you down to your limits. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Again, as we mentioned, you're still with Rekindle PH Online. As we mentioned, we're not trying to be political. It's just our own opinion, and we're trying as much as we can to be the middle ground. But you know, Brian has a statement. I have a statement that you know. I hope you guys can actually look into and have an open mind. You know, dealing with, right? We're not trying to be as what I was tagged like way back. I'm not trying to be balimbing or whatnot. It's just that there are just both sides of the story. And again, ousting the president now will prolong the quarantine, if ever, because of the processes that will take place. Right? I'm not sure with Brian, but I wouldn't really, I wouldn't really call the oust the president movement. Well, he actually said it as well. Stupid, but I think now is we think that now is not really the right time for that. So maybe after everything settles down and people are back to being comfortable out in the streets and all that, then maybe can go for that movement or whatnot. What
Hello,
it?
hello, hello.
Okay, yeah, I think we lost you,
My
so I covered.
computer slept. Anyway, sorry, I got disconnected in the
Mm-hmm.
part where you said I wouldn't really call them what.
You know, the oust movement, we wouldn't really want to tag it as stupid because I think you guys have, you know, like you have your own stand or your own reason why ousting him should take place, but you know, as what we talked about earlier, I think now is not really the right time because processes that may delay everything and you know might push the quarantine to even longer periods of time. And I don't know. As for now, my stand is that you know he needs to prove that he has solid plans for the country and you know work with what's happening inside the Philippines and not consider any foreign feelings getting hurt because of what he wants to do or the people are asking him to do. What do you think, right? We lost Brian.
Hello, 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 hello.
uh,
Sorry. Yeah.
uh,
Uh, on the point of the China Philippines part, I actually somehow agree with the opposition on the
mhm,
that point because like I follow this channel on YouTube
mhm,
called China Uncensored.
mhm.
It's
Mm.
China
Yeah,
Uncensored.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it that channel discusses all of the darkness inside the
Mhm.
CCP.
Yeah,
So I'm not really a huge fan of China.
yeah.
Um, but it's just that uh, I remember a meme that I saw earlier. When you say it's just that, you're already DDS. It's
True.
like you say but. But you know, sorry, seriously. I mean, I think I'm not sure. Maybe I'm biased, but it's I and from what I understand or from my perspective, Duterte is just being practical on um like the on like his relationship with China because especially with like the if you look at the data, you know, you
Mhm.
remove all the biases and just you look at the data that's like there. I don't know how to
Mhm.
describe it. Like for example, what we talked about before,
Yeah,
like
25%.
our economy relies a lot on China, like the GDP growth. Although of course we can survive without China. That's like a fact. It's just
Mhm.
that it's just that like for example, instead of earning 1,000, you can only earn 700 if you like don't sell to that store.
True.
You know, so multiply that by millions. So
Mhm.
that's like a lot of money.
Yeah.
So especially with this is just my perspective, not like a
Mhm.
political analyst or nor an economist. But this is I'm just looking at the numbers and
Mhm.
the variables. Um, especially that we have from what I see, ang nakita ko basta kay Duterte nga term is kind of like a socialist
Mhm.
um, term where basic services are subsidized by the government. Like for example, the free college education.
Mhm.
No, I know we already discussed about it, but
Mhm.
it's like it's a major expense for our country. You know, you can't deny it. It's like the government paying for everyone's college education
Mhm.
for thousands of students is like a lot of money.
Yep.
You can't even the United States doesn't do it. You have to like get a student loan for you to be able to finish college, right?
Mhm.
So here in the Philippines, you can like finish any course as long as it's in the state university.
Right,
Finish
right.
any course without spending a single dime, except for your probably your allowance and your projects.
Yeah.
But for the education itself, you can do it, and that's just under Duterte's term. Remember, sorry, I'm becoming political. I'm not. I mean,
No, 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 no. Just
just just
Pointing
to
out.
elaborate, like for during Aquino's term, he vetoed that particular law because he doesn't see it as what do you call this, practical.
Mm.
And Aquino is an economist. He's
Mm.
like
Mm.
he's a dude who like took a 4-year course about that topic. So like from his perspective, it's something that the government can't handle in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really, if you analyze it, it's really like right, because the number of students are increasing every year.
Right.
So I think that's probably why Duterte is kissing China's ass. It's like it's
Okay.
like
Yeah, yeah,
because
I
of
got,
the
I got.
because of the money.
Rates.
I'm also disappointed by how he reacts to things like with the Scarborough Shoal.
Mm-hmm.
He promised to ride the jet ski, but I
Right.
mean, there's a lot of. I'm just thinking about the question that's in my mind with regards to the critics is, if we abandon our relationship with China, where would the Philippines get the money to supply or to support its programs, like what's the that bill? I haven't read about it thoroughly, but it's the Universal Healthcare Act.
Okay.
It's another like free service of the government
Mm-hmm.
where the elderly gets automatically a membership from PhilHealth. So,
Mm.
if you're over 60, then you can just avail or get discounts from the hospital. And that's like also a lot of money. It's like, I don't know. So if you add it all up,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's hard to imagine where the government are getting those. That's why we had, I think, like another issue that was criticized was the train law.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, to me, because of our government being a socialist government, then I mean, it's probably the cost
Mm-hmm.
of the services that the government provides, because when you're like, this particular topic, I think, is also a topic in the US,
Mm-hmm.
is like socialists, like the Republicans, they're not really a fan of supporting other people. That's like,
Yeah.
from what I understand, it's like, if you're poor, go fuck yourself. It's like,
Right. Right. Right.
that's what I understand from the Republicans. They don't want the government to deal with the health, I think Obamacare is free healthcare service too, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So if you like watch like US debates on that particular topic, the Republicans would always bring up the argument that, why would I pay for someone
Yeah.
else's healthcare?
Right.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, it's not my responsibility. If he's poor, then that's his problem. It's like, yeah, then
Yeah.
why
That's like
you?
the
Yeah,
Philippines, right?
so that's why, if you look at it, Duterte's term is actually a socialist. He's like more on the side of the Democrats, although he acts like a Republican.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, he provides a lot of healthcare services, but I mean free services to the society at the cost of a lot of things.
Yeah.
I
That's one
I
thing.
I think like the Pogo also. I think that's the reason why you can't like remove it totally, because of number one, the corruption, because there's money in it. And
They're,
number, huh?
that's where the 24% from China goes.
Yeah,
No, kidding.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then there's also the social services.
Yeah. Could be. Could be. Could be. Again, guys, we just want to remind everyone that these are just our own opinions, and not because we're whatever job title you want to name us, followed by the suffix "ist," like virologists,
DD is.
DDist, volcanists, and
Yeah, but
whatnots.
that's just my 2 cents on
Right, right, right.
Duterte. But he's not like I always talk about him being the best president, but that's the I just see him as like um uh, lesser evil. I know I know like I'm not sure if like you guys or any of like you my friends have remembered me saying this, but I know deep inside my heart that Duterte is corrupt. It's just like yeah.
No, you haven't
Yeah,
yet. You haven't yet.
yeah, but for me it's just that he's like the lesser evil among all of um, the people who ran during the
Yeah.
2016 election. No, sorry. There's an exception. MDS.
I'm this of
Um,
course.
if Miriam probably didn't have an
Yeah.
ailment, I would probably have voted for her, and I mean like campaigned for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem with Miriam is just that
Yeah.
he's like she's like close to heaven.
Yeah.
But I really commend Miriam. So the next in line in my list that time was the Duterte because of um
Not Binay.
B9, no. It's like
We lost you again, right?
B9 is like
Yeah.
super. I mean, we might get charged libel, but at least
Yeah.
no one is listening. But anyway, like for me, I mean, it's not. I do not claim it to be true, but there's like a lot of issues.
Yeah. 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 Then again,
Yeah,
they've seen that in the television and the news as well. So I don't
yeah,
think that could be labeled as like I don't know throwing shades out there. It's not. The shade has already been thrown like way back. So
yeah. You're MDS, right?
yeah, yeah.
For like 2016.
I was yeah.
Yeah, and they would tag you, Dilaw.
They'd
And
still tag me Dilawan, but yeah. Oh well.
yeah. But those were the times. But again, probably let's just all accept that Duterte is corrupt.
I know. But yeah, yeah. I'm just actually I was actually hoping for like April Fools. We're not shooting anyone, but
Yeah, it's not
the
like the
signs.
most presidential thing to say
Yeah,
during
yeah,
during a pandemic.
yeah, yeah.
But I really that's also one of the things that I kind of like about. I mean, it's not. I acknowledge the fact that it's not the best approach there is with
Uh,
dealing or when you're talking to the Filipino people.
mm,
But what's interesting about Duterte is his manner of
mm.
or his habit of making surprises.
Yeah,
Like he would curse the Catholic Church. He would say
and
this and that.
and then
Which
there's next day post that he's in the church. Eh,
yeah, it's like to me. To me, it's like I think it's calculated in some ways. I think he is testing the waters
yeah,
on how the extent of what he can say in public.
yeah, maybe that as well. And well, people are defending him, most of the time. And well, you have the other fans, trying to dwell on that as well. But politics is a very I know complicated thing, especially if you're
Yeah,
just
it's
if and some people only see the monetary value on some of the things that as long as we get help, we're gonna vote for you. But all that and people, I think for the longest time that being a democratic country, I think he was, some of us, if not all, wanted someone with an iron fist at some point, but we did not really expect that it will violate some of the things that what made us as a country, like human rights and all that. But uh,
yeah.
we did not expect that because he has this statement like way back that I said like maybe I should go for him. Like he said, like if the people will elect me, God will cry, and I was like, wow, that's like two shades all in one. Like yeah, maybe okay, sige. Like ano na, if pinili ako ng, yeah, I think it was in Tagalog, like if pinili ako ng tao, iiyak yung Diyos, like something like that, because he was referring
Ah,
to
yeah, yeah, I remember.
he was referring to the plan of actually taking care of the the drug problem. And we never really thought that it's not gonna be like it's gonna be, we never really thought that it's gonna be more of like what Oplantokang actually did. I mean, yeah, I was people were afraid, and especially the offenders were afraid. Some people stopped, some people are doing it like very discreetly but still got caught. But then again, we, whether we like it or not, we can't really say that no innocents have died during the what do you call that, during Oplantongham, because it was used by some of, like corrupt policemen, as well as a reason to just execute people. And I don't know. At some point, actually did good, but yeah, considering the fact that, well, there were.
What I think what sorry,
Yeah, go
finish
go
your
go go
point
go
first.
go go go. No, no, no,
I
go go.
think yeah, the Oplantokang failed because of a lot of, that's why I told you again Gordo Duterte is corrupt. So I think it would have probably, because I'm not really, I'm actually a fan of more of like the vigilante justice where you kill,
Mhm.
murder bad people
Yeah.
because of what they
Mhm.
do. But I think what made the system fail is that the information gathering is shitty.
Yeah.
That's why you had like a lot of quote unquote collateral damage.
Right.
Um, but if, and also there's also a factor where um, only, it's like there's an obvious what do you call this, obvious um uh, uh
Corruption.
I,
No.
it's not corruption, obvious, well,
Uh.
let's say corruption where they just pick who dies.
Right.
Like, I mean, for example, who's that Chinese guy, um the where the issue, like kang kumpare ni Duterte.
Jackie Chan.
I
Peter Lim.
forgot. Is like, yeah. Where there's like a million evidences already,
Yeah.
but he's still alive.
True.
But the other big, the argument where only the poor dies is wrong, because there's like a lot of rich people who died
Mm.
also, like the Paroinos, the Alberta mayor.
Mm.
Um, it's just that it's like, you're familiar with the story where there's the government is trying to just monopolize the cartel.
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what's happening fits into that theory.
Actually. Yeah. And
Yeah,
people have
so
been calling out for that, like ever since, like what, like for example, the missing drugs that was found in like the magnetic lifts.
uh
Yeah, so there's no news about that anymore. But then again, you see people dying in the streets because wag tularan, pusher, addict, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I know. Again, politics is especially in the Philippines.
yeah, it's
Politics
complicated,
is
but at
very
least we have
complicated.
pre-college education.
But then again, yeah, yeah. We that's what I always tell some of my friends who would actually go into my DM and ask like if I'm this, if I'm pro this and pro that. You know, And I always say like I'm like the current I'm a current admin's I'm a current admin's critic, but then again, I wouldn't really say that he did not do things, like he did not really do anything good. Because there's a lot. There's a lot. Not the bridges and the airports, but there's a lot. Uh, the argument that you don't need to cross whatever you think he built. Anyway, but yeah, there's
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
yeah, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that he did as well. On top of whatever everyone is accusing him, but then again, we don't know the whole story. There may be more, maybe less. And politics is even the local politics is
Yeah, it's really complicated. That's
is
why it's hard to talk about it. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
yeah, true.
The problem right now, I think, I don't know. There was like a, I remember, I forgot if it's a friend of mine or if it's something that I've read online, that the government is the reflection of its people.
Could be because yeah, could be partly. I don't know because if it depends on who they want to serve, I guess, or I don't know. How does it go?
It's like, for example, the culture where, uh, like for example, like what we talked about earlier, the culture where uh, vigilante justice is being tolerated.
Right,
So then it resulted to the election of Duterte.
right, true.
So it's like, and then the culture where corruption, everyone is almost corrupt in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that a lot of people are selling their vote.
True.
It's
Right,
like
right, right.
already obvious that it's corruption when you sell your vote.
Yep.
When someone is buying for your vote, that means that particular person is corrupt.
Right.
So since you already, what's the term? You already subjected yourself into the culture, or you participated in the activity. I
Mm.
mean, then you're corrupt. So therefore, you elect a corrupt person.
Right.
Then yeah, it's like the reflection of the people.
Right. And also with regard to like for example the rape jokes and all that. Um, some people are remember that rape slay. They're so angry about rape slays, but they would know they would have scandals go around. They would cheer every time Duterte does. The president would do like rape jokes and all that. So yeah, maybe reflection or vice
Yeah.
versa. It's probably vice versa as well. Because if the government would tolerate such a thing, then the people would abuse it as well. I think it's vice versa. I know.
Yeah.
And we're not telling this. Yeah,
Maybe.
and we're
It's
not.
like, for
Yeah.
example, I
Sorry.
agree with the your last point, because like for example, we have Manila.
Mm-hmm.
Manila made like a big difference
Mm-hmm. Right.
when it's got sat, and
Mm-hmm.
then same with Pasig.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the new era of governance.
Right.
So maybe it's vice versa. But who knows? Maybe we don't know what will happen in the 2022 elections here in
Right.
Bacoor.
It's even like the local memes of stop blaming the governments because you actually received the 1K that they gave you during the election, and that's your quarantine budget. That alone reflects how corrupt the governments maybe, and the people itself. The people itself. Some people would say that. Um, some people would say that gimbatong ko lang to pero wala ko siya gimboto. But as far as I know, the other party actually, gave out money
Yeah, I
as
gave
well.
out.
So
Yeah,
you receive that money as well. So who's more corrupt now? You receive money from the other party. You receive the money from the other party, but you only voted for one, right? So who's
Yeah,
more?
scammer.
If you come and think about it, it's sad, and it's sad. And I grew up with some of our relatives actually, like watchers, because we're close to like a school way back. So you'd see those kind of things, say like envelopes and all this and all that. And as a kid, you can't really say, "Hey, that's bad," because
Yeah,
they're
we're not saying. By the way, disclaimer to those who will be listening to this late night talk show. We're not claiming that Mayor Bing is corrupt. Mayor Bing is the best mayor in the solar.
I think everyone knows. I think not specifically to the mayor, but everyone knows that there
Yeah,
were
we're not claiming the LGU Bacolod is corrupt. They're like the best in the solar.
but there were envelopes with monies going around. Everyone knows that, and everyone knows that it's for ano lang pang Mountain Dew
It's
lang
like ano gan eh. It's like that's another also obvious thing about corruption. It's like an open secret.
Yeah,
The what do you call this? What's the Comelec? Comelec knows about it. The ALG knows about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
The police knows about it, but they don't do anything.
yeah.
It's like
Because they
it's
probably
like
got more.
part of the culture.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that as well. That as well. Hello,
Yeah,
Garcia.
it's like open secret that vote buying is there, but nothing is no investigations are being done.
It's,
You know, but it's I don't know.
it's sad.
It's part of the culture. We hope it changes in the near future. But also, speaking of the people, I like a funny thing earlier when I did my groceries because I asked like one of the folks here to
Mm-hmm.
accompany me because he has like a tricycle.
Mm-hmm.
So I like what's that term? Rented? No, it's not rented.
Um,
I
oh, I know.
asked him to.
I rode him.
Basta it's sir be my service.
Mm.
Anyway, nang said is also a Tano. They said they had to like ask assistance from the police because in the other um what's bangga corner
Corner.
corner the other like corner
Mm-hmm.
from our corner corner or block na lang, let's say block the other block
Mm.
just really close to us, the people there are threatening the what do you call this, the tanods. It's like what,
Nga.
it's like ha,
Nga.
hindi magpasaway sa ano hindi sa quarantine kag mga mask.
Oh, okay.
It's like we're in a part like we're in a part of Bacolod where there's like a lot of hoodlums.
Mm.
It's like Banago but just one level down.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's another challenge probably for the LGU. I don't know.
Yeah, kasi I don't know. Like, amo gani nga daw ka budlay nga ay kakabudlay nga on the lower level like yeah, considering nga ano mas again vote mo si Duterte kay needs ang Philippines discipline and look what they're doing now. 'Di ba?
Scam.
Oo,
I was like thinking sangga ga gabaming ko sa CR blow. Hindi ko sure basta may madumduman kang phenomenon ko ano. Though like they want discipline pero doka fasad lang
Hmm.
doka ano lang ng doko baga pabala sa sundado na mian ka lang adobo subong pagabuwas di ka na namian
Yeah.
akan ka na blow ano lang term naman daw man blow daw like people are calling out for discipline, pero I mean, eventually, kung sila na disiplina, hindi man sila.
Right.
Wala.
Amo gani.
Oo, yeah. Fist bump pa. Pero kung ano na, kung wala na gani, palinti, mga ako tubig ko.
Like some of the victims of Oplan Tokang actually wears like the 30 baller bands. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get it. That's what I always say. As long as it's convenient for other people, they go for what the like the mass would, or what the convenience of the mass would suggest. Like for example, like okay, let's vote for him because we want discipline, and yeah, I think I need discipline, and they'd go for that. But once their convenience of being disciplined, gets rattled, they're the first one who'd actually break. Like I think one of the things that, especially with the quarantine and what had been happening in the country lately, people are so deep in what their convenience is at the moment, but once it's violated by some guy who was in the streets like rallying against their convenience, then they normally are the one who'd react as well. Like amo na, like discipline need namon, but then again natin hindi kaya face mask kay ti mapatay ko mapatay eh.
Oo, tapos at fist bump, 30 pa rin.
And then there was one of my friend earlier posted like something like ano to gani ang balya nga daw something kabalo naging kamo sala daw like regardless if you're a supporter or not, sige lang gyapon like like do ka do ka 50 shades of gray lang, do ka go lang go. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Again, guys, these are personal opinions, and politics is a very complicated game that we don't really want to. As I don't know, after the stream, people might actually challenge us for whatever debate that they want to think about, but no,
Bird.
I'm not gonna go. I wouldn't really debate with some strangers. I'd rather debate with just friends, even if
No,
I don't know.
malamig ka complicated. Malamig it's hard to determine actually kung ano gid ang right path because of like lot of complexities.
Yeah, true.
Ay, ang mga ganay may kabudlay.
Hindi ka makabal. Like, palinutan na lang siya. Ano daw yun? Like, hand over to sa vice president. Then, since the cabinet is not for the vice president, islan niya. Then, issue naman. Ngagin pang islan. Kaya mo niya mo to. Then,
Mako detay impeachment sila ni mabulo si Soto. Mas maddead na gid
right? And then it goes down the line, and then the process is delayed. Like countless times.
Sino gani nang after kay Soto mo ang speaker bla mo. So it's like Cayetano, pero mabulo siya. I think.
I don't know.
Oh. Anyway, that's like hindi na matabo. Layo.
I don't know. To be honest, I'm really expecting the administration, like after the the approval of the emergency power, that they'd have like solid measures rather than just shoot people. I think they're still working on it, but the people needs it like soon, like the soonest.
Gani.
Kaya kabudlay maghulat nga gutom ka na wala assurance. Like pares na ba lang nga hulat ka sa friend mo nga paadto na ko din ka na aran ako sa jeep. Aran ako sa jeep din ang jeep. Di ba? Naka-umay na bra.
Dapat na implement nila migno. Pero sa Korea bla na may mga testing booths.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Or
curious na ako nga wala pa na produce po ng testing kits ang UP nga cheaper.
I know. Yeah, that thing. I don't know. Probably funding.
Nalimtan na namin kinagambal na naman si Duterte. Feeling, ako naman lang kung may, yung mga issue-issue, imo. Basta, amo na yan, feeling ko calculated mo nang iyang actions. Kay, for example, di ba issue kay Vico,
Mm.
patawag sa NBI.
Mm.
So, press con siya pagkagabi. Abaya, shoot them to death. Kaya mo naman
Mm.
ang trending, nalimtan naman to si Vico. No,
Yeah.
pero
I don't know.
anyway, ang testing kits,
Yeah.
I don't know. Kaya
The
kito
UP
amo to
testing
ang
kit.
nag-work nga approach, I think, nga paano na contains ang mag-contains ng COVID. Kaya
UP testing
ang
kits. Yeah, go. I'm just gonna look it up. See if it. Last update was
kaya,
from March 15, 21.
kung approach lang sa China, may majiji na daya.
Yeah.
Ka-liar lang sila.
Yeah.
Baka mo na 80,000 nila nga number, wala kagiyo.
Yeah.
Kung pati.
Let's see. Ang proseso po ng pagpapa-validate ay hindi po mabilis. Okay, so it's under validation, Bri. So it would take at least 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. The testing kits.
Okay.
So maybe that. But the UP test kit costs around 2.7 to 3.5 including extraction procedures. So wow, that's still a lot of money. There was this family that were asking the government to help them out because their patients, their confined patients, hospital bills is already around 1.4, and I'm not really quite sure if it's just COVID. I think there's other complications because I think that's one of the
Ah,
things as well that people might need to look into, like why people die during the coronavirus. Is it because they're immunodeficient or things like that? But then again, it's not just about just washing your hands. There's more
I
to that.
think I'm not sure if it's probably because of the respirators. Hindi ko sure kasi amo na sang tag 100,000 ang imong adlaw.
Maybe.
And I heard there's like a machine where if it's used on you, it's like a bill siya every day.
Could
Pero ito
be,
yung mga di mo makoton man.
could be gani. Could be that. Could be that. Kay ti ang igo sang corona is respiratory ba?
Pero I think I heard basta I think it's the bill is probably because of the medicines tapos ang ano pa ang machine
yeah, and that
kamahal nga dahan sa ano.
yes. And the testings and the countless testings.
Aw.
Yeah, because for
Kaya mo na nga.
example, because for example,
Ano to.
because for example, if like according to the DOH, the COVID-19 test at the RITM ranges from 5,000 to 8,000. Imagine getting tested like every day.
Uy, and I don't think the
It's a lot.
government will provide it to everyone for free. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I highly doubt na the government will just say na, okay, all of the COVID patients, you're free of your bills. It's
Yeah.
not I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
I don't think it's
It's
gonna
like,
happen. If ever that happens, I don't know. Maybe they do it like under the table. Maybe, but not the whole. Probably not the whole bill. Or if some of the president's PR guys would actually cover it and get pictures like selfies and all that. It's like bongo. Throwing shades again. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know.
oh,
That's
like, ikaw be, mas namin tani kung reading voice, no?
Gane.
Kung for example, we make, palayo man.
Okay,
Pero,
sila.
for example, be ikaw mag-positive, din ka mapadmit sa public or private na hospital.
Mapatay ka man either ways. One, I don't have the money.
Jutsu.
One, I don't have the money to like 1.4. Seriously?
Hindi, may complications pero most likely kay ang I mean ano ko na lang. Kay kung sa private sa public most likely lesser ganyang imong expenses
Yeah.
Kaya in the sense
but the
nga, barato
facility
ang
though,
bed.
yeah.
Wala na. pero, pero kag sa private, yeah, more on, probably may mga difference siguro ang price mga 40% pero hindi lang ko sure. Kaya last ko ba nga sang last year na hospital si lola ko ubo. Di man gito complicated nga pneumonia. Pero ang bill to naglabot to do mga 35,
Okay.
40,000 mo na.
Okay.
3 days lang na 3 days nga na-admit. Tayo imagine mo ko mga weeks ka sa hospital. Mga ano guro mga more or less mga um 100-ish ko.
Yeah. I don't know if yeah, anyway. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out since we started like if we go like super political, and I think we did. if the s- if the stream should stay published, but yeah, I'd probably it'll probably
Unless
stay.
lang, unless.
Yeah, I could probably have it unlisted, and yeah, only friends who would wanna listen to it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little bit carried away with what happened, with what's happened.
Yeah, would live and make what makes it hard is that when you talk about COVID, it's kind of hard to like move away from the political
Hmm.
part because uh, the measure of containing the the outbreak relies heavily on the government.
True. True.
So when you already talk about the measures taken to control the outbreak, you already talking about the government
True.
or like whoever is handling that measure.
Yeah.
So wala.
Yeah. That's so true. We're supposed to. I just remembered what we're supposed to talk about. 7-Eleven security and other convenience
Oh
stores.
yeah.
We'll probably
Pantay looting.
Bantay looting. Yeah, there. We'd probably talk about that tomorrow when the boys are in. Tito Pao is busy. Tito Ron is busy as well. Tito Dan, I'm not sure. He got lost after the talk about butts. Um, Tito Ray probably doesn't have connection right now. Tito Wem, I wouldn't really bother Tito Wem right now. He just lost his aunt. Not COVID related,
Ay,
by the way. Not COVID
on
related.
the lens.
So I wouldn't really go for that. I think there's an update with the lockdown dance online dance jam. You can look them up at Lockdown OLDJ on Facebook. I think there's already a list there of participants, so I'm not really quite sure how they would air that, but you guys can message their page and check on that. Right. Tito Bry, last words. Last words.
Stay safe lang and remember no matter how disappointed you are with the government, they're still like the best in the solar system. Duterte Pareen. Hashtag. Fist
Alright,
bump.
fist bump. Tapos wala gamas. Anyway, alright guys, so this is Rekindle Page Online. We were joined by Tito Brian, of course. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with him. And of course, Jeric here. And yeah, as what Tito Brian said, stay safe. Actually, fist bumping is not, it's not feasible right now because of the virus. Wakanda salute, everyone. Uh, that's the safest, or the Spock greeting, whatnot, or the Vulcan greeting. Right, guys. Again, yeah. So as what you've heard earlier, there are ultra risk areas in Bacolod, and you might want to stray away from those areas for the meantime. Stay away from those areas for the meantime, and unfortunately, yeah, we are part of it. Yeah, and also saying this because some of the friends that probably decided just hey, let's go there, let's drop something for Jay and all that, because I've been telling the family as well not to like go here or for any reason other than emergencies maybe and all that. Alright guys, so again, stay safe, wash your hands, and let's hope for the best. Hope for the best, I guess. And before we leave, let me play the disclaimer. Thank you, Tito Bri. See you guys tomorrow. For a more light talk, maybe. Bye, guys.
The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the Manga Bahola Code and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Rekindle PH. Any content provided by our team or participants are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual or anyone or anything.